Hi everyone, it's Lisa coming to you here from the Paris Bourbon County Library. I'm going to show you a very super simple holiday craft that you and your children can do. You could get the kids involved in this one, and that is our simple key ornaments. We did snowmen on these. And I'm going to readjust the camera so that we get a better look at these tiny little ornaments. Okay, that's a much better camera angle. Now I zoomed in really tight so that you can see actually what we're doing, but we have simply taken a key. I'll tell you what supplies that you need, and we've turned it into a really cute little ornament to be given, or something that you can put on your tree. So I'm gonna move these to the side. Excuse me. And I'm gonna tell you the supplies that you need. You're going to need a key. And obviously there are all kinds of keys that are in different shapes and forms and so forth. There's one that came off of a fossil, something I had that was fossil. That looks a little different. If you're lucky enough to have any of the skeleton keys, I would not do this with them, but those are just fun keys that you could do in other forms of art or keep as is. The second thing that you're definitely going to need is you're going to need paint. I have used a white acrylic. I have used an orange, pumpkin orange. I've used a black acrylic. And then on this one, if time permits, I may add a little rosiness to the cheeks with this pink as well. I'm going to need something to put at the top of my key, as well as around the neck of the snowman. So I have some ribbon here. I have a small paintbrush. I have one that's a little bit longer and a little bit easier for painting the key. You could use a foam brush if you needed to. I used a Sharpie for the eyes and the mouth. And then I may need scissors to cut my ribbon. And then this is one time that I do not need a glue gun. I do need a glue gun. Sorry, I did need a glue gun for the front here. But that is it. So let me go ahead and get started on this process. Obviously, the first thing that you're going to want to do is to, is to paint your key. This is a very small one that I have here. The other two are longer. I have multiple coats on here. And so I would think there's probably 3 coats on here. Please be sure to let it dry between coats, and also don't forget to get around the edges of your key. The second thing that you're going to be doing is you're going to be applying your nose and your eyes. And so I'm going to go ahead. Now you can do the eyes with the acrylic paint, but I would totally mess those up. And with this, I have a nice point on the end of it. And so therefore I can make the eyes really easily. So I'm going to put an eye here and an eye here. I'm going to take my orange paint. We're just going to put a dot of that out. I'm not sure if you can see that, but I'm just using just a dot. And with my paintbrush, this paintbrush is a little frazzled on the end, so I'm really going to make sure that I'm not seeing any that I'm not seeing any bristles that are sticking out. And the pressure is on because I'm not a painter at all. So I'm going to start very light. And I'm going to try to make just a triangle. Oh, well, a carrot shape. These do not have to be perfect. There you go. That one is by far not perfect. And then before I go any further, I'm going to give just a couple of dots for the mouth. Four on there. Okay, so far so good. Now I would like to add some pink, and this could either be a disaster because I did not do it to the other ones, and I want the lightest of pink here. As a matter of fact, I have seen some people that have actually used like face makeup blush. I'm sorry I had to turn that towards me. And if you choose to, now that's bright pink. I probably would muddle that just a little bit or find one that's not quite so bright. But you can add the rosy cheeks if you like here as well. Before this dries, if you wanted to take a Q-tip and just dab those a little bit, that will take some of the intensity off and they won't be so circular. They'll kind of be feathered out, okay? Okay, now that we've got this, I'm gonna take the hairdryer and I'm going to dry this because I want to show you the last step. My last step for this is going to be a coating of Mod Podge. And I don't think I mentioned it in the intro. You do not have to do this process, but it essentially just finishes it off. It just makes sure that your paint is sealed. So I'm gonna do that very quickly. This is a gloss Mod Podge. It is something that actually just seals your product. So I'm going to take I don't know if you can see it on this one or not, but it does give a little bit of a gloss to it. I'm simply going to take my brush because I need so little of it. And rather than actually rubbing it across the key, I'm just going to simply dab it on there. Because just in case that paint wasn't entirely dry, I don't want to smear it. Mod Podge dries pretty quickly, but we're going to speed up that process real quick. Now you can see it getting a little bit more easy to see, a little bit clearer. That means that the Mod Podge is drying. And it's actually almost dry to the touch. That will dry clear. I need to go ahead and finish our process though. Ordinarily, I will tell you that you should wait until that completely dries, but I do want to go ahead and get some of my fabric, and this is actually reused, so it's kind of crinkled there, but I'm going to simply split this down the center. Cut off part of it. And I'm going to use this as, hopefully as a scarf. We're going to see how that goes. On the other two, I put a bow on the front. Let me pull that up just a little bit more. On this one, I'm hoping just to be able to use a little bit of hot glue and slide that right on my key. We'll try it one more time. Otherwise, I will just hot glue that to the front. Oh, yep, let's hot glue. I'm gonna wrap that around like just like a scarf. And there we go. You can fray this more if you'd like. There we go. Now, the only thing that we will need now is something at the top. I really don't like the red. The red is almost too bright for this. So let me get some of the black. Sorry, I'm shaking. I mentioned in one of my earlier videos that I used the blower on my leaves yesterday. And that's the residual effects. We had a lot of leaves. Okay, and there we go. Now, the only thing I would change about this one, I would not put the pink on the cheeks. If I did, it would be a lighter pink and not so much that brighter pink. Okay? This is so simple to do. These make easy, cute little gifts. They make great gift tags if you wanted to include one on a gift that you're wrapping. Think about what materials you have at home. This does not have to be orange paint. Obviously, it could be an orange Sharpie as well. So I hope you enjoyed this fun little craft. Another fun way of upcycling materials that we probably already have at home. I hope you enjoyed this and keep crafting.